Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Virgo Weekly Tarot Bite reading for the week of July 17th through the 23rd. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot reading for Soul Illumination. I am Lauren. Hi, and welcome. To everyone who is returning, thank you so much for your continued support. I hope you get something meaningful out of this reading for this week. If you're new, thank you so much for watching. I also hope you get something new and I would say meaningful, maybe inspiring as well out of this reading. So we are taking a look at the energy for the week ahead. This is a mini reading, so it's only going to be about 10 minutes or so. And we are looking at the two themes that came up in the general collective reading, which was posted on Sunday, which is Poised and King of Pentacles. Now we're looking at what both of these themes are going to mean specifically for you and your sign, Virgo. So Poised really spoke to us having this week as the breather between the cycle that's closing out, where we really mastered something in the physical, which is represented here by the King of Pentacles, and where now we are getting ready to open that door to the new and how we are going to apply this part of ourselves, this something that we've mastered. But it's also going to be in alignment with, as you can see with this fairy here, bringing the star, which is above her head, which represents our dreams, that kind of guiding principle, that thing we'd love to pull down into the physical for ourselves and really experience here in the physical plane. So we're getting ready to do that in this next cycle, which is really lovely. So Virgo, we're going to see here what Poised means for you. What is this dream that you're looking to pull into your experience? So we have the Emperor. Interesting. For many of you, there is a sense of reclaiming your authority. The Emperor can speak to also kind of seeing outside of the box, especially with this card, the image on this card in this deck. But there's also a sense here of really, with the number 4 as well coming in, building a firm foundation where you are harnessing the energy of masculine energy, which is initiation, which is kind of forward movement. And it's also really understanding that energy of you. We each are the emperor in our own life to our own empire, that no one can usurp that from us. No one can dethrone us because no one can live our life for us. So there's a sense here of really kind of getting back into that realization that you've never been off your throne. You've always been on it. but getting into that place of, okay, I'm going in this next cycle, getting into that healthy place of authority in your own life. It could mean for some of you that you have actually become the authority in some aspect. That when we think about, mastering something in the physical, you might have a skill set now. Sorry, I'm trying to adjust myself. My leg is cramping here. That you might have mastered something that now makes you an authority in some part of your life. Maybe you've mastered becoming a parent and now you are an authority on that and you can maybe help others, or you're a master in your home life and you can, really kind of take the lead there. Or you've gained a skill set, maybe you have a master's degree now and you didn't have that, previously. And now you get to apply that as you move into maybe a new job or something along those lines. Okay, so we have 2 more cards that came out. We have Judgment and the High Priestess. So you have all major arcana cards coming up here. This is a big shift for you. This next cycle is, especially when we're looking at the energy of just this week, this is kind of like that week where you get back in the driver's seat, but you also have, I think for many of you, it's almost like, I wouldn't say taking the blinders off, but it's almost like you see in the mirror the reflection of the new you. So with Judgment, that is being called up as the new version of yourself. But it also speaks to understanding that in order to be called up kind of from the dead, a part of you had to die. Not physically, but meaning a part of yourself, a part of you, who you were, how you identified, had to be released. And with the High Priestess, many of you, I think there's this deep intuitive understanding of what that is. There's a deep intuitive understanding of who you are now, and who you're being asked to become, which is interesting. And then with the Emperor coming in, there's that sense of really, again, ascending to your throne again. There's a sense of getting into that place of I see who I am now. I see the marked change from who I was at the beginning of the last cycle to who I am beginning this new cycle. There's a massive growth phase, I think, for many of you. And there's this deep intuitive knowing, but a deep intuitive knowing that also understands now that who you're kind of coming out as is the authority in some aspect, is the authority either now in your life or is the authority in whatever you're poised to bring into your experience. So this could be like realizing, oh my gosh, I've become a parent. This is what's changed in my life. I understand that. But now I'm going to fully assume that role, and I'm going to do so from a state of ownership. You know, when we go through these kind of big changes for ourselves, sometimes we're kind of just like writing it out, right? We're like, okay, I don't know where this is going. I don't know what this, and we all can go through phases too, where we lose a little bit of that kind of emperor status in our own life, where maybe someone had taken our power away from us. This can be like where maybe you were in a kind of, maybe a bad work dynamic for a long period of time, where maybe you worked for someone who was kind of emotionally abusive, or a work environment that didn't allow you to excel or move up in the way that you wanted. And you were maybe you were told, hey, you don't challenge your boss, or you don't speak up like that. You just take it, like you just work those extra 5 hours if you have to, that kind of thing. And now after having gone through that whole cycle and learning all the lessons there, you realize I don't have to be that person who, just because my boss says, hey, on Friday, hey, I actually need this done by Monday and it's 5:00, but I know you can finish it. And you're like, okay, I guess I can. You've gone through the cycle where you understand you don't have to be that person anymore. You can find a new work environment that doesn't require you to work for someone like that, or it can be where and so now you're moving into the next cycle in a much stronger place of authority as you move into, let's say, a new job position or an elevated job position. This can also be in the home life, where you realize now, wow, I maybe was a new parent at the beginning of the last cycle. It's now been X amount of years. I'm now a seasoned parent, and I'm not going to allow people to bully me anymore in this, or in this home environment, or I'm not going to allow, a teacher to make me feel like I'm not teaching my kid enough, or I'm not going to be so susceptible to societal pressures as to how to raise my children, or there's something along those lines. It'll obviously apply differently to each one of you, but there's something where whatever happened in the last cycle, I get a feeling a little bit of your power had been taken from you, and now this new cycle is opening up, and you're going in as a new version of yourself, but in a version of yourself where now you are reassuming that authority. Okay, so let's see. What is the King of Pentacles? What does that mean for you, Virgo? What have you mastered in this last cycle pertaining to your physical experience? Okay, so the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords speaks to indecision. It speaks to, Two of Swords and Ace of Wands. Okay, for some of you, there's this feeling of, let me see, I'm just going to try to pick up all these cards, make sure they're not upside down. Okay. So the Two of Swords and the Ace of Wands. There's been a decision here for some time around, for some of you, this could actually be where you've been indecisive about getting pregnant. It could be like, I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know if I want to, I don't know if I want to do that. This can also be where you have been indecisive about following a new passion or a new inspiration, where maybe in the last cycle you were like, I don't know, I'm just going to keep doing what I've been doing, and I feel called to something. I have an idea for something. I have an idea for a new business, or I have an idea that I want to become a mountain climber. I have something like that. But I think there was a time of kind of like not being able to see, like, is this something I can actually pursue? Is this something that I can do? Do I have a choice to follow what I'm passionate about? And I think now you've mastered something around that. You've mastered something around choosing what you're passionate about. Maybe there is a sense here with the King of Pentacles. For some of you, you might have finally realized how you can capitalize on an inspiration or a passion that maybe you had long time, there'd been this like lengthy period of like, I want to do that. I want to start that business. I want to, and you're like, but I don't know how to do it. And I'm kind of like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And then all of a sudden, as you start to move into this new cycle, some of you might actually realize, I see now how I can capitalize. I'm going to assume the authority in my own life and become my own business owner. Something along those lines, where I think for many of you, there is this sense of there was 1 foot in, 1 foot out in the last cycle around following an inspiration, a passion, or potentially having 1 foot in, 1 foot out around being a parent. And now you might actually be kind of, I think, something around that is you're assuming again your authority in that area. And it might be for some of you, you might have become a new parent and now you're like, okay, getting back in the driver's seat of my life as the master of my home life now. Maybe I mastered my work life and now I get to master my home life. Or now I'm just choosing to become a business owner. I'm finally prioritizing myself. I'm going to capitalize on what I know I'm capable of working for other people, and I'm going to apply that now in starting this new business. And I realize the judgment is that I'm never going to go back to being someone who works for someone else. There's going to be something along those lines. But I do get the feeling here that the last cycle was really maybe where you didn't prioritize what you were passionate about. You didn't prioritize that inspiration. And this new cycle, you're going to be doing that and doing it from a place of authority, which is really interesting. Now, we also have the Ace of Cups at the bottom of the deck, which is really beautiful. That's the energy of a fresh connection to the self, especially on the spiritual level through your emotional connection to life again. There's also a sense of really seeing that you have a full cup and connecting to the love of self, so that then you can connect to the love of others and life itself as well. And really taking a look in that cup and realizing the needs you want to have met, the dreams you want to pursue. There could be because this is really speaking to this week, there could be a chance of like a love connection, a renewal in love with someone in your experience. And again, really, I think getting ready to move into a new cycle for yourself that is going to be around an inspiration or conception, and really where you get to be the authority in your life in some aspect of where the last cycle maybe had taken authority away from you in some aspect of your experience. All right, I will leave it there, Virgo. I hope you all have a wonderful week ahead. If you'd like to book a personal reading, you can click on the link in the description box below to visit my website. If you'd like to watch your full tarot scope for the month of July, those are up on my channel. If you'd like to watch August, those will start to be posted at the end of this month. All right, Virgo, I hope you have a wonderful week ahead, and I look forward to seeing you next week for your next Tarot Bite reading. Bye, Virgo.